All right, so here we go. Here's the quiz you boys and girls took Friday. Unless you were absent, then you owe me a different quiz because you're obviously not taking the same one. So, first one, in words, what is this thing asking? This is your base, and this is kind of like your answer. So it's saying, what power of 5 is equal to 125? And the answer to that's 3. It is. It's not a hard question. All right. A log, if it's not written, has an understood 10, so it's what power of 10 is equal to 10,000. So, if you got to push buttons in a calculator or whatever, Lord help y'all, but it's 10 to the fourth. So the answer is 4. I don't know why it says round to the fourth decimal, but whatever. All right, what is the domain? Oh, and by the way, since this last one was just a log, like if that's too much for you, you can literally type log 10,000. You're still gonna get 4. All right, moving forward, what is the domain of this? So for a logarithm with an argument, which is spelled with an A, the argument has to be greater than 0. So this is my argument. 4x minus 12 has to be more than 0. We add 12 and we divide by 4, and x has to be bigger than 3, which is choice D, because we hopefully understand interval notation. 4 is find the inverse. Step 1 is to swap x and y. Step 2 is to resolve 4y. And step 3 is profit notation. Okay, so we're going to get the f out of that one, make that an x because it was y. We make it an x. Log, whose understood base is 10, 3y minus 4 because x and y swap positions. And now we're going to do the easy things first. We need to get this guy all by itself. We got to isolate. You have to isolate, so we're going to take away 4. X minus 4 equals a log whose base is 10 and argument is 3y minus 4. And now we're going to do our conversion. We have a base, we have an argument with an a, which means this has to be e. And we're thinking about this, b to the e equals a. So the base is 10. E is labeled as x minus 4 and has to equal 3y minus 4. And now what we're going to do is we're going to isolate that y, okay? So we're going to add 4, 10 to the x minus 4, notice it's an exponent, plus 4 is equal to 3y, and then we're going to divide that 3 out. And this is my answer. Choice A. 5, find the inverse of this equation. Same rules as before, we swap x and y. And now we're going to isolate this piece right here. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. X plus 3 equals 10, 3 times 10 to the y plus 2. And the goal is isolation. This piece isn't alone yet, so we're going to divide out that 3. X plus 3 over 3 is 10 to the y plus 2. And then we're going to go through and we're going to identify our parts. This is my base because bases have exponents, which means this has to be an argument. So I'm going to become a log base 10. My argument is x plus 3 over 3, and I must equal y plus 2. So notice my argument is x plus 3 over 3. See that? That'd be choice C. On a standardized multiple choice test, oftentimes you don't have to finish all your work. You don't. And I probably could have stopped as soon as I saw this, right? Little things like that, look for them. Ah, wrong button. Whew. God for an undo. All right. So we're going to work our way out. So we're going to find g of 4. So we're going to put a 4 right there. It's going to be 2 times a 4 out of 4, which is 12, because 8 plus 4 is 12. And literally now we're taking that 12 and we're using substitution and we're saying, okay, we'll now find f of 12. Well, that's going to be the root of 5, and x is encountered, which becomes a 12 minus 4. That's 60 minus 4, which is the root of 56. And I'll take off. If you wrote root of 56, I gave you half credit. It says, be sure to simplify your answer. I mean, come on. And you're holding a calculator while you took this test, so I don't get you issued, bro. 4 times 14 is 56. This is the root of 4 times the root of 14, which is 2 roots of 14. There's your simplified answer. Here we have f of g of x, more affectionately written as f parentheses g parentheses x, close, close. So we're going to take all of this and we're going to put it right there, okay? And it's squared. If something's squared, you write it twice, and you FOIL like Jesus would. So 2x plus 4 times 2x plus 4, and then minus the 3 times the 2x plus 4, and then you FOIL. I don't know why that's so hard. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 4 plus 8x. 2x times 4 plus 8x. 4 times 4 plus 16. Distribute minus 6x minus 12. And let's see what we can do here if we just focus on like terms. That's going to be plus 4, isn't it? So gone with C, gone with A. I have 8 and 8, which is 16, minus 6, which is 10. Choice B. Number 8, you invest $7,000 into a savings account that pays 14.9%, which is 0.149. Abigail Kibler. Interest compounded monthly. How much money will be in your account after 40 years? Round to the nearest cent. Okay, so it talks about how we compound. It says monthly, so I know that I need the compound interest formula, which was given to you on your quiz. I'm going to plug into that bad boy. 7,000 is my principal. This is my R. N is 12 because it's compounded monthly. Time is 40. So 1 plus 0.149, sitting pretty over at 12. And the exponent is 12 times 40. And then I go to my trusty TI-84 and I push a whole bunch of buttons. 7, 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 0.149 over 12. Close parentheses. Exponent is 12 times 40. And if you have no idea that that's 480, a TI-84 does not, shall not judge you, even though it should. Quite a bit of money. Look at that. $2,615,503.63. There is no greater power than compound interest. What rate of interest is required to quadruple an investment of $25? So this is my principal. If I'm going to quadruple it after time, I will have 100. And it says continuously, so that's PE to the RT. And then I just plug crap in. By the way, time is known, right? Time is known. All right, so let's do this bad boy. We have 100 equals 25e to the unknown x, because rate is unknown, times 10. Now, I'm going to do this two different ways because you can. You can divide out the 25, and that would give you 4 equals e, and I'm going to rewrite this as 10x. And what you can do if you want to is you have a base, you have an exponent, and you have an argument. You can do the natural or the log base e of 4 being equal to 10x, which is ln of 4, and then divide by 10. And that's your answer. We have ln of 4 sitting pretty over at 10. 0.1386 right there. Now, if that was too much for you, you could have gone back up here and you could have y1 and y2 that whole ordeal. So let's do that real quick just to show you can, because I have so much free time to be doing these things. We got 100. We got 25. Second ln pulls up the E key to the 10x because it just looks better than x10. Let's see, I think my window might be all right because the last time I used this was in a previous video. So I've got my window at 125 already. So I'm going to hit graph. All right, we're going to do a second trace. Second trace. 5. Enter, enter, enter. There she is, 0.1386. All right, you're about to buy a car and you're going to borrow 25 grand. You're going to take out a 7-year loan. The interest is compounded monthly and the rate is 8.3%. So R is 0.83. Wow. 0.083. Monthly, there are 12 months in a year. Time is 7. And here is your principal. All right, so what's going to be the entire amount you owe? It's going to be the amount after 7 years is $25,000. 1 plus 0.083, sitting pretty over 12, raised to the nt. Oh, I forgot to write down the formula. This is what I'm using. Just slow on time. So n was 7, or t was 7, and n was 12. And that's what I'm going to push buttons on, kids. 25, 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 0.083 over 12. If you don't know, 7 times 12 is 84. Again, the TI-84 does not judge you. $44,606.33. 606.33. Your monthly payment, 7 years, is 7 times 12, 84 months. So we're going to take our payment, our month, what we owe, and we're going to divide it by 84. $531.03. Perfect. Getting closer to being done. Solve this guy. It says get it into b to the e equals a form before converting to a natural log. Right transfer in exact form, -1 for decimals. And the reason there's a -1 for decimals is because you could have used your graphing calculator. But we're going to take away 3 from both sides. 5e to the 4x is 30. We're going to divide out the 5. E to the 4x is 6. We have a base. We have an exponent, which means this guy is the letter A. So a log, base E, argument 6 is 4x. So log base E is ln. And that's my x. So here's why I'm actually counting off for decimals. The reason I'm actually counting off for decimals is because I could have y1'd and y2'd this thing from the get-go. I could have, and you could have too. You probably didn't even realize that on the test because for some reason you just don't think. So I think it was 5e to the 4x, oops, plus 3, it was equal to 33. So I'm going to set my window to be around 40, look up 40 units. Graph. Oh, there it goes. Second trace 5, enter, enter, enter. So from the graph, I got 0.4479. That was my x value. Well, let's see what we have. I have ln 6 over 4. Notice the two match? That's why I was taking off points for decimals. All right, solve log base 5 of 2x plus 3 equals 3. I have a base, I have an argument with an a, and an exponent. So, my base is 5, she's going to be cubed, and she's going to equal 2x plus 3, because I understand the whole log is bay. This is what this is hinging on. Like, you have to memorize this. All right, so anyways, 5 cubes 125, and that's going to equal 2x plus 3. We're going to subtract 3, we're going to get 122 equals 2x, and we're going to divide by 2, and we're going to get 61. 13, I haven't given this test yet this morning, but I expect 13 to be the bad one. Like, it's my expectation. 13, I expect to go bad. I know these things ahead of time. But not everybody should make a perfect score, right? Because not everybody's perfect. All right, a pesticide kills. That is definitely decay. And we taught this everything going on here. So we're going to talk about the amount after time passes is the principal times 1 minus r. And the exponent is going to be t over whatever this time period is. So there are 1,000 cockroaches now. I am doing 1 minus 0.18. And I have t over 10 because it happens every 10 minutes. And 1 minus 0.18 is going to be 0.82. So choice C. 2 is determine the hourly kill rate. And this one's easier than some of the ones that I've done on little quizzes at the end of class. There are 60 minutes in an hour. All right, so I'm just going to feed a 60 to this thing. 1,000 times 0.82 to the 60 over 10. And I'm not even going to worry about this piece. I'm just going to worry about the last piece. I guess you could do the 1,000 if you wanted to. Well, why not? You kids do weird things, so let's just put the 1,000 in there. 0.82 rooftopped to the 60 over 10. So after 1 hour, there are 304 cockroaches left. Okay, so there were 1,000. You killed that many. Or sorry, you had 304 left. This means you killed 695. You killed 696. Out of 1,000. You killed 696 out of 1,000 cockroaches. So that's your kill rate. This one is also one that I don't expect to go too well. Anytime a kid has to do multiple things, it just goes downhill. I expected you to graph the function. I would love to graph the function if my calculator would pull up. Would absolutely love to. We have x to the third plus 3x to the second plus 16x plus 48. Let's just do a zoom 6. You should see an answer. From the graph answer. From the graph, x equals -3. We're going to do synthetic division on that and keep our coefficients. 1, 3, 16, 48. We're going to drop the 1. -3 times 1 is -3. We're going to add 0. -3 times 0 is 0. Add 16. -3 times 16 is -48. Add 0. Remainder constant x squared. X squared plus 16 must be where the remaining zeros are. So we're going to take away 16. X squared is -16. We're going to counteract a square with a square root. and x is going to be plus or minus 4i. So these are your three zeros, -3 and then plus or minus 4i. Express your zeros using function notation. Let's see here. We have x equals -3. That's going to be that guy right there. We have a positive 4i. That's that guy right there. We have a negative 4i. That's that guy right there. Choices 2, 5, and 8 were the correct choices. And the last one is a graphing problem. You are supposed to show your shifts. This is a left 2 and a down 5. Because I went left 2, I'm going to plug in a -2, and then I'm going to increase by 1 and a -1. And I am supposed to be showing these shifts because one of them is extremely important. And the reason I show both shifts is because, this is kind of the centering. This thing starts to some degree when x is -2. That's where it's interesting, at the origin. This guy right here, by the way, is your horizontal asymptote. It's y equals -5. It also is going to be the range of this function. It's going to be from -5 to infinity. Anywho, let's plug in some numbers. We have 2 times a 4 to the -2 plus 2 and then minus a 5. That becomes a 0. 2 times 4 to the 0 minus 5. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So 2 minus 5 is -3. So when x is -2, I have the point -2, -3. Now I'm going to plug in a -1. 2 times 4 to the -1 plus 2 minus 5. 2 times 4 to the first power. And notice Milbrath isn't making this 8 yet. 2 times 4 to some exponent is not necessarily 8. It's only 8 if the exponent's a 1. Now 4 to the first is 4. This becomes 8 minus 5, which is 3. So I also contain -1, 3. Then I draw the shape of exponential growth. And you've seen lots and lots and lots of these graphs in class lately. It looks like that. And its domain is -infinity to positive infinity. And that is your quiz. Now, I did full instruction on this quiz here, and it took me 22 minutes. So you ought to be able to finish this thing here. It's 7:09. You guys will start taking this thing in 30 minutes or so.